It's grit and grace, side by side, fire in my chest, calm in my mind. I'll build what lasts, I'll choose my lane, turn pressure into purpose, paint it again. With grit and grace, I'm free to be all I am, becoming steadily.
If you've ever thought, I just need one more thing before I start, this episode is for you. One more course, one more template, one more plan, one more day to feel ready. That's OWL. OWL doesn't look like avoidance. OWL looks like preparation. But if your business is full of learning and light on results, we need to talk.
Side I run this race.
Welcome to Grit and Grace, where we talk money, mindset, leadership, and the standards that make success sustainable. I'm Donna, I'm the creator of Grit and Grace, and today we're diving into OWL, the pattern that keeps smart people busy but not moving. Before we begin, a quick note. Today's episode is general information only. It doesn't take into account your personal circumstances and it is not financial or tax advice. Please seek advice specific to your situation. Quick context as to why this series exists. My husband passed away recently, and during that time I reached for a very steady book called Winnie the Pooh. It was familiar. It was something that I could hold on to when the world just felt too sharp and too hard to deal with. Reading it as an adult, I realised the characters are mirrors for human patterns, and business has a way of amplifying those patterns, especially when you're trying to feel safe, certain, and in control. OWL is the pattern that reaches for certainty through information. Let me tell you what OWL looks like in real life. OWL is the person who knows a lot. She's got the tabs open, she's got the notes, she's got a folder titled business, she's got the saved post, she's got the workbook she printed but never filled in. And she is not doing nothing. She is busy, but the business isn't changing. Her calendar is full, but her progress is fuzzy. And the most frustrating part is she's not afraid of hard work. She's afraid of being seen trying. So OWL finds a safe place to live. Learning. Because learning feels responsible. Learning feels like control. Learning feels like, I'm not stuck, I'm preparing. But here's the truth. Preparation becomes a trap when it replaces action. And when you live in that trap long enough, you start thinking something is wrong with you. There isn't. You're just in OWL mode. So here's the principle plainly said. Learning can be a hiding place. Not always. Learning is valuable, don't get me wrong. But when you are constantly learning and rarely implementing, you're not learning anymore. You're avoiding the discomfort of action. Because action has consequences. If you post, people can ignore you. If you pitch, people can say no. If you raise your rates, someone might walk away. If you launch, it might be quiet. If you delegate it, it might not be done the way you want it the first time. Learning is safe. Action is vulnerable. So OWL chooses safe. And I want to say this with a lot of respect. If you're a high-performing, intelligent person, you can hide in safe mode for years and call it being responsible. But businesses aren't built on safe. They're built on evidence. And evidence only comes from action. OWL has another little habit. It's called complexity. OWL loves complexity because it feels sophisticated. More offers, more packages, more steps, more explanations, more it depends. But complexity is often a way to avoid clarity. Because if you never say what you do clearly, you never have to face whether people want it. And that sounds harsh, but it's actually freeing. So here's a moment to check yourself. If someone asked you, what do you do? Could you answer it in one sentence? Not your qualifications, not your process, the outcome. Who you help and what changes for them. because when you can't say it simply, your marketing becomes exhausting. You'll keep educating and explaining and clarifying and hoping people get it. But people don't buy clarity because you gave them more words. They buy when they understand what you do and what to do next. And this is why our businesses often feel like a lot of work for not enough return. Clarity sells, complexity delays. Here is the most powerful rule you can adopt if OWL is your pattern. If you learn it, implement one part within 48 hours. Not all of it, just one part. Because the longer you wait, the more likely you are to overthink it, tweak it, abandon it, or replace it with the next idea. The 48-hour rule turns learning into evidence. Let's think about this in real-world terms. If you learned about payment terms, implement it. Add your terms to your invoice template today. If you learned about boundaries, implement by setting one response time standard and use it this week. If you learned about marketing, implement it by posting one piece of content with one clear call to action within 48 hours. If you learned about pricing, implement it. Quote your next new client at your updated rate. OWL wants perfect. You're going to choose prompt. Prompt beats perfect because prompt gets you data and data gets you confidence. Now I want to give you one more OWL gift, a decision container, because OWL tends to renegotiate with herself daily. And daily renegotiation is exhausting. So here's your move. Choose one 90-day decision. Not forever, 90 days. I want one offer to lead with, one marketing channel to focus on, and one weekly CEO rhythm to keep. Now, why this works is it gives you enough time to build traction and to gather evidence. A lot of businesses don't fail because the owner made the wrong decision. They stall because the owner keeps changing the decision before it's had time to work. So if you want momentum, stop swapping plans. Choose one, run it, review it, refine it. And that is leadership. OWL is not the enemy. OWL is the part of you trying to feel safe through certainty. So give yourself safety through action and evidence, not endless preparation. Information isn't implementation. Clarity beats complexity. Prompt beats perfect. And yes, you can still learn. Just don't use learning to delay your life. Until next time, keep your grit and protect your grace.
In the quiet, before the daylight breaks, I'm drawing lines for my own sake. I've carried more than I let on show, still found a way to learn and grow. With steady hands I set the pace, a fierce heart held in gentle space. I won't trade my peace for proof, I won't build a life without a roof. I'll rise, I'll rest, I'll recalibrate, strong enough to do, wise enough to wait. It's grit and grace, side by side, fire in my chest, calm in my mind. I'll build what lasts, I'll choose my lane, turn pressure into purpose, paint it again. With grit and grace, I'm free to be all I am, becoming steadily. I won't shrink back to make it easy, I won't stay small to keep things tidy. I'll speak the truth, I'll name my worth, put roots down deep and do the work. And when it's doubt is loud, I'll still begin. Again and again, I'll choose to win. Not by force, not by fear, by showing up year after year. It's grit and grace, side by side, fire in my chest, calm in my mind. I'll build what lasts, I'll choose my lane. Turn pressure into purpose, pain